Right. So I saw this headline, obviously, because it's today. BBC boss Tim Davie. So BBC is like the British broadcast corporation. Um, he's the head of that. It's public television, basically. Tim Davie to urge the TV industry to put sustainability content front and center. Now, what does that mean? Well, they're not even hiding it. When we say there's an agenda in TV and it's getting boring and the message, well, this is the message. This is part of the message. This is another the message. And it's all about bloody climate change, which we're now just going to get a whole bunch of boring climate change crap. Good times. And the fact they say we have a huge creative opportunity, there's nothing creative about forcing narratives on artists, which is inevitably what they're going to do. And also inevitably what they're going to prioritize as well, or try and shoehorn in. So someone pitches them something and goes, oh, hey guys, let's do this. They'll go, yeah, but can we do something about climate change as well? And this just nullifies all creativity. Now, make no mistake, ladies and gents, if this is happening with the British Broadcasting Corporation, it's going to happen because, we live in a weird globalist age. It'll happen with your public broadcaster in no matter what country you're from. And then also what I will say, it won't just be that. Obviously, we'll be getting this in Hollywood as well. So that's good. Love it. Fantastic. So I just thought this was interesting to talk about. But exclusive to Deadline, BBC Director General Tim Davie will get on the front foot when it comes to sustainability and climate change this week and urge the industry to put content speaking to these issues front and center. Speaking at the Climate Creatives event this Wednesday, Davie will say that focusing on content that addresses sustainability and climate change is, quote, a huge opportunity at boring its audience and lecturing us as well. Deadline has obtained a sneak peek of a video address Davie will give at the 4th edition of Climate Creatives, a cross-industry event organised by the BBC that gathers commissioners, production staff and storytellers to examine how the industry can come together to find sustainability solutions. It says this, quote, surely now we're at a point where sustainability, the agenda around nature, must be there front and centre, Davie will say. This is a real moment for us to do that. And again, just bore people. Producers and commissioners are increasingly tuning into how to create climate-related content that sits outside of the docs and current affairs space, whether that be in entertainment or drama or kids programming. Ladies and gents, they're not even trying to hide it. The message. The audience is very interested in this topic. No, we're not. Actually, no, we're not. We're interested in being entertained. Shut up. And we, as public service broadcasters, have a huge creative opportunity. It's not just corporate initiative. This is the priority for next year to bring it alive even more in programming beyond the obvious strands. That really excites me. It goes on further and says the industry effort is twofold. It encompasses reducing carbon footprints as well as on-screen messaging. Davie will speak at Climate Creatives in his capacity as BBC DG, but will call on the whole industry to get behind a push to start sustainability conversations. We have got a voice, and it's slowly diminishing because no one's listening to it, but okay. I would love to see this topic at the heart of more discussion. What really sets this industry apart is how we can communicate and how we can rewire our programming so that we have a positive impact. They're trying to brainwash you, quite frankly. And that's kind of it, really. That's the story. I hate it. Look, is saving the planet good? Yeah, of course it is. No one's against that, obviously. Like, no one is against destroying the planet. We live here, clearly. But I'm sick of this nonsense in everything. Go away. Thanks. Please. Cheers. That's the story. They're not even hiding it. That's the message. This will be coming to a new movie near you. Culture.
Yeah, I'm going to tell your Tim Davie to suck rocks because I freaking, your neo-Marxist state broadcast company can, pontificate at you guys all that you let him. But chances are nobody's watching BBC anymore. As you pointed out, his voice is diminished. The networking programming voice is diminished, and the only thing that he's missing is the little circular pin with the rainbow circle on it saying he's a WEF member.
Yeah.
So to be fair, neo-Marxist gonna neo-Marxist until they finally have to see that they don't have control. And as we further expose them for the douchebags that they are. And this guy is, chief douchebag. So thanks for, foisting him upon us globally. We appreciate it. There.
I know.
Was that surly enough for you?
I like it. I like it. Have you noticed it in coming into any of the stuff that you watch?
Well, no. I mean, we've always had some of this garbage coming at us from Hollywood, but we don't have a public broadcasting system the way you do. We have PBS, but they are primarily supported now by private grants and entities. That it's not like it used to be where they were 50% or more supported by the government. Now it's more like 12% of the government at most. So most of it comes from private foundations like Bill Gates and Clinton Foundation and all these other douchebags that are trying to take over the world. So, and they're doing it under the guise of, this fraud of climate change. Is the climate changing? Well, the climate has always changed. We are actually, exactly. We are technically in one of the coolest points in time in the globe's history. If you look back over the course of the last 50,000 years. And by the way, mammals appeared prior to 50,000 years ago. So they seem to be able to adapt to, quote unquote, the climate. We had a much greener planet. We are headed back towards having a greener planet. Green is good.
That's the interesting thing about climate change. So when you watch these adverts for climate change, they always show like the arid African plains. They're like, oh my god, it's all dry and gross, and it's climate change. And you're like, actually, higher carbon in the atmosphere would make that a lush rainforest. That area right there.
Yeah.
Genuinely.
Yeah. And that's
quite funny, really, when you think about it like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the quote unquote actual inconvenient truth. Is exactly
you look this
that.
up, by the way, ladies and gents. This is real
science.
You can actually look that up. So if you look at the actual science, so as carbon goes up in the atmosphere, you will get more lush green rainforests and things like that. But especially in those areas which are arid, dry deserts and horrible, gross plains now, where basically nothing can survive and thrive, it'll all go there, pretty much. Well, it'll go everywhere, but a lot of that will go there as well. So it's well worth looking up. It's not something which I'm pulling out my butt.
We're telling you the truth.
It's just funny, isn't it? That's what they use to push. They're like, oh, those poor Africans. Well, think about if climate change happens, they'll get even hotter. No, they won't.
Well, and again, I mean, the other thing that's worth mentioning is that if you guys are so worried about the oceans rising, stop buying beachfront houses.
Oh yeah, true.
All the billionaires and millionaires. I'm gonna build my house and my bunker on this island. I'm sorry. Weren't you worried about the ocean rising a bit?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Huh.
I'll build my Half-Life bunker down there.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense.
Goodness sake. Well, anyway, isn't it funny how they're just not even hiding it now? They're just like, this is the message we're going to push now.
This is the neo-Marxism. Enjoy.
I hate you so much. I hate these people. I hate these people. Hate these people. Hate these people.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, no, neither am I. It is interesting though. I mean, you'd think that they would get the message by now that people don't want to watch this stuff, but yeah, they're just neo-Marxists, right? Just hell bent on it all. Utter drivel, absolute drivel. Really is ridiculous. We've actually got a super chat from Al Humphreys, sort of around this, for $6.64 over on Streamlabs. Thank you so much. If you want to tune in and get your comment heard as well, then please do super chat. Al says, I completely agree about the green message, Nate and culture. I come from a conservation background, and these Muppets are starting to piss me right off now. Hydrogen cars are ace, not EVs. What they're going to be doing in Formula One with synthetic fuels too. Yeah, man. So I've said this a few times actually. I mean, the whole green thing is a scam. It's a grift, right? And there's a lot of things which is a grift. I mean, in the UK, for instance, the quantity of wind farms that we have the amount of wind turbines that we have to power the country if they were spinning at all times, we've already got the amount basically. But obviously it doesn't spin at all times. There's not enough wind at all times. So you just put these awful looking things up that destroy wildlife. So if you're thinking about climate, well, wildlife pretty important for habitats, basically. And the wind turbines themselves, they can't be recycled. So the actual blades are non-recyclable. So they just go into like landfill sites. They are worse and not particularly pleasant. Have you ever seen one of them go up in flames? Oh my God, that's terrifying. But not only that, it doesn't really matter how many wind turbines you put up, because if you don't have anywhere to store the energy, what are you doing? So we don't have anywhere to store the energy that it makes.
Well,
so it's literally powered and you have to use it immediately. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And the wind doesn't, blow in abundance in certain locations, and you then have the electrical transportation or distribution problem. You lose a lot over a high tension transmission lines.
If you really wanted sustainable, you'd go nuclear. That's what you do. It would just be nuclear.
Well, and the fact that we don't do that, you realize that micronuclear reactors have been around for like almost 10 years now. And
there was the potential that we were going to get them here, but that was all scrapped, which is a shame, really, because they're quicker to build, quicker to decommission. But yeah, we weren't going to be getting that. Well, we were, but then they cancelled that idea. It's just nonsense. It's just absolute nonsense. And again, at the end of the day, to talk about like cars for a real quick, is that Porsche has developed a e-fuel, fully synthetic fuel that is combustible, and it's perfect. It's amazing, but we're not funding it. Like Porsche did it by themselves. It's like we should be funding that. That's really, really smart. That's a really, really good thing to do, rather than push for EVs and get nonsense from China. Ridiculous. Anyway, whatever. Anything else to add to the message?
Yeah. I had 2 stories on the 6 Minute Daily this morning about EVs and the fact that they don't really enjoy salt water. So when we have a hurricane in the southeast and the electrical battery packs come in contact with salt water, we have exploding fireballs of EV for days and days. Number 1. Number 2, Jeep recently came out and told 194,000 plug-in hybrid owners to A, stop charging their car, and B, park them outside of the garage because they catch fire.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not good. Not at all. And it's not only that either. EVs, I think that they might have fixed it a little bit now, but previously they had an issue with cool temperatures. They weren't very, very good.
No, they can't charge. Range. Yeah, it diminishes range and they take forever to charge. In fact, you have to basically heat your car to charge it.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
Not good.
Energy density is a problem. The most energy dense thing that you're going to find is combustible fuel of some sort. And it's readily available, easy to distribute, and you have stations everywhere. Do you know what you don't have everywhere? Fast filling electrical charging systems.
I know, so yeah.
It
takes time as well, man.
If I go for a long jaunt in one of the electric cars or hybrid cars that I have, I'm likely not. I'm likely to just take at worst a hybrid, because I can fuel it and it gets wonderful efficient gas mileage. And if I hyper mile and carefully use my accelerator and my recapture my braking power, I can go for long distances. But if I'm traveling across country, I can do it in the Prius or in the Volt. If I were to try to do that in a Tesla, what's going to happen? I'm going to be refilling 11 times across the country, and I will have to stop a minimum of a half an hour just to get an 80% charge. Everything after that, I've now wasted. Any of the efficiency of travel that I would have gained in any other way is gone. The convenience is not there. And that's the biggest hurdle that, aside from exploding, that electric cars, have to overcome.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we won't bore people too much with this now, but thought it was interesting. Expect climate agenda on your TV screens coming up for the next couple of years. That'll be the next message, ladies and gents.
Hello,
so,
nonsense. Hello, nonsense, my old friend.
Oh, yeah, it is absolute nonsense. Absolute nonsense.